Hey besties, it's Paul. You'll notice this episode's audio quality is a bit worse than usual. As you'll hear in the show, Drew had some computer issues and was forced to use unfamiliar software in an attempt to record the show. And while we tried our best, it didn't turn out the greatest. Anyway, I hope you enjoy the show.
Hi, how are you?
Oh, not too bad. You're having a rough night, I can tell, I can hear. Yeah.
Having a rough couple of weeks, Paul.
Oh no.
I have so much to talk about. First of all, let me go to the doc. I haven't even looked at the doc.
I literally put two things in there.
Okay. Well, let's see what we got. We obviously have a plan for this call.
I think so.
Yeah, I think we do too. Okay. So, all right. So I think there's basically two parts to this call tonight. I think
so.
Paul. So basically, we can talk about my adventures in water cooling and building my new computer.
Yeah.
And then we could talk about because it is the holiday season and we're recording this the Saturday before Christmas about our gift exchange and
Treats.
Treats. And I can also recount how it went horribly for me trying to get you your gift. So
okay.
I assume that you did get my gift.
Yes, I have it right here. I don't know if you can hear it here.
Okay. So well, okay. What do you want to jump into first?
I feel like you have to get something about your PC build off your chest.
Okay.
So why don't we do that first? Now, see, this is where I'm coming from. So I've seen some pictures that you posted on Twitter today about your PC, your build. You're building your water cooled rig, liquid cooled. You're building your own. Building your own closed loop, liquid cooled computer, and then you kind of stop posting pictures. Which I don't know if that's victory or defeat. And then obviously you're having a little bit of problems this evening. So why don't you tell me a story, Drew?
Okay, so let me tell you a story. So when we last recorded, I had ordered and received most of the parts I was going to use for my water cooling rig. And if you recall going to the show notes last time, you probably looked, hopefully you looked, and you saw the different parts that I was going to be using to build my system. And I was planning this around a particular piece in the water cooling loop and a particular case that piece was designed for. So I'm here to tell you tonight that absolutely none of that went according to plan. I'm not using that case. I'm not using those parts. No.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh, no.
No. Okay.
Oh,
so all the parts showed up, and I kind of held out as long as I could. I'm just going to kind of ramble through this whole thing. So if you have questions, I'd ask that you save them towards the end.
I will save them towards the end. Yes.
So what I was really hoping to get was an AMD Ryzen 3950X, but that is a very, very desirable CPU right now. It's really, really hard to get. So I compromised a little bit, and I eventually pulled the trigger on an AMD 3900X, which is like just one step below the 3950X. So I basically had all the parts to build my computer except the processor, and I was just kind of hedging, just waiting for the opportunity to buy this processor and install it. Well, eventually I got impatient, as I'm wont to do, and I went and bought the AMD 3900. So I get everything home, and this particular build, again, was designed around this case and this front panel reservoir combo pump thing. And I get the case, unpacked, and I prep it, and I start, kind of putting things together. And the very first thing I realized is number one, you have to realize never done a custom loop before. So a lot of this stuff is I watched a lot of YouTube videos. I read a lot of blogs. I did my homework, and I knew what I needed to do. So kind of step one was getting all the components of your loop out and just sort of like freestyling and like figuring out where everything is going to go. So with this particular case, obviously because of the front panel piece that I have, that thing needs to go in the front, and everything else has to kind of like be built out around that. So I started, prepping the motherboard, and I put the water block on it, and put that in the case, and, figured out where the radiator was going to go. I had bought 2 radiators, and it became pretty apparent to me pretty quickly that both radiators weren't going to fit. And this is where things start to go a little bit south. So both radiators weren't going to fit. And I really, really wanted to have 2 radiators for this build because I really want to try to move as much heat as possible out of the loop. So both radiators aren't going to fit because the top radiator fits perfectly, but the side radiator does not, because the case isn't wide enough to accommodate the radiator and the fans. And the front panel is like on the inside of the case, and it kind of covers up one side of where the radiator would go. So like if that front panel wasn't there, I could put a radiator with fans like kind of sandwiched, like fans in one side of the case and radiator in the other. But that wasn't going to be an option here because of how this thing kind of fits. So I said, okay, no big deal. I'll go pick up a slightly smaller radiator and put that in the bottom of the case. And for a while, it looked like that was going to work. But then I started screwing things together, and I put my graphics card in the case. And then I realized that the graphics card doesn't fit in the case at all.
At all?
So at all.
Sorry.
So
wow.
yeah. So the block that I put on the graphics card made it so wide that the part where the side of the case would go on wouldn't go there because it was sticking out the side of the case. So
no.
So at this point, I'm kind of scratching my head and I'm thinking, okay, how can I make this work? So one option I have available to me is I could vertically mount the graphics card, which also has some advantages because then I would be able to see the underside of the graphics card where the liquid goes, and it would help with getting some air out of the loop and everything. So I thought maybe I could put that on there. However, there was no mount that was really compatible with my case. I couldn't get that to work. So I basically declared bankruptcy on that particular build and said, okay, I'm going to see if I can at least use the radiator and the fans and basically everything except that front panel in my existing case. And my existing case is a really nice case, but the problem is that it's very cube-like and it's kind of compact. And I started kind of sizing things up and putting components and things where I thought they could go, and quickly realized that everything fits, but I had to go buy a new pump and reservoir. So I'm already way over budget. So I had to go buy this $170 pump and reservoir combo, and I'm trying to figure out where I'm going to put that in my existing case. And there's just no place it can go. The case isn't long enough to support all these things. So I basically take the case that I had previously bought back to Micro Center, and I buy a new mid-tower case, one that apparently will fit everything, and I get back to work. So this was last week, before I went on my trip for work. So I kind of got all that stuff and then had to hit pause on it for 5 days. So when I got back into town, I started working on it again. And I got the new case, and I put the reservoir and the pump in it, and I put the radiators in it. And then it was okay, so all the pieces of this now fit. So now I need to start bending my hardline tube to connect all these things together. And this is where things go completely sideways, because in order to bend this hardline tube, you have to use a heat gun, you have to heat it up, you have to bend it. And my goal was to just use no more than 90-degree bends. And when I say 90 degrees, I don't mean hard 90 degrees. You have to bend it with a slight bend until it becomes perpendicular to the path that it was previously on. And that's something that you just don't do right the first time. You have to kind of get good at it. There's a definite technique to it, and I definitely got better with it as I was going. But the problem is that the way all these components were in the case, there were no good straight right angles to connect everything. And again, the culprit here is kind of the video card, because it's a slightly bigger than normal video card that doesn't – had it been a regular old 2080 Ti video card, everything would have lined up perfectly, and I could have just made these really quick connections, but that wasn't the case here. So long story short, I start trying to piece all this together, and it becomes apparent to me. And like here's like the kicker. So these tubes, when you heat them up and bend them, they're really good at bending one direction. But like, let's say you wanted to bend it 90 degrees and then another 90 degrees in 3-dimensional space. So it, like, if you were to like kind of like take your finger and point it straight up in the air and then like curve it towards your monitor and then curve it to the left, like kind of like a 3-bend type of deal.
Okay. Yep. I get it.
Yeah. So number one, there aren't any tools to do this. You kind of have to do it by eye. And two, one thing I discovered really quickly, again, was this tube isn't good at bending multiple directions. Like, it's good at bending one direction, and then that's kind of it. So I had to like then invest in a bunch of fittings to make this work. So like I had to get some 90-degree fittings and some extenders, and these fittings that are really interesting in that they are 90 degrees, but they rotate in the middle, so they could either become like 90 and 45 or 90 and like 70. Like they're totally indispensable because they bend in certain shapes that otherwise you wouldn't be able to like do on your own. And you can use that to kind of close some of the gaps on this thing. So I basically had to drop, I don't know, a couple $100 on fittings. And the overall outcome, I was able to get the loop stitched together. I pressure tested it and it looked pretty good. And then, that was over the course of like yesterday and then today. So today I finally said, you know what? It's just time to do it. The only way I'm going to know if this is going to work is if I fill this thing up with liquid and see what happens. So I tightened everything down. I made sure that nothing was loose, and I filled the reservoir up, and I attached the power supply, and I turned it on, and it kind of sucked the water down into the pump, and I had to keep like stopping the pump and filling it up because you don't want it to run dry, and everything was looking good. And then like I had my paper towels kind of under my different compression fittings to make sure nothing was leaking, and then a little drip appeared on one of the fittings. So I had to kind of stop everything I was doing. Drain it, which was messy. I don't have my drain in the right place. I discovered that as a part of this. I thought I had it in the right place, but I don't. So it was a little messy draining the liquid, but I was able to recover like almost all of it and reuse it, which is good. And I basically had to redo some of my fittings and do a new bend and attach it and put the liquid back in it, fired it back up, and it's not leaking anymore. And then, it's running. Like the videos you saw today on Twitter it's actually running. It's cycling water. The computer boots. Oh, and that was the other thing too. Like I started putting this thing together, and before I started to put liquid in it, I'm like, man, it's really going to suck. Like if I build this thing and then like it doesn't turn on. So yeah. So like, but it posted fine. I installed Windows fine. And like right before this call, like I was installing drivers and software and everything. And then like I basically installed like 3 different RGB controllers because of all the different voodoo you have to do to get the RGB to look the right way. I basically installed all of that, and now it won't go into Windows. So I think I think one of these crappy RGB driver things that I installed caused it to like freak out, because otherwise it was performing beautifully. Like it posted, it installed Windows updates, like it did everything. But yeah, so it has been a stressful 2 weeks. Am I happy with how it turned out? Yes, in that I did something new. It was really challenging. If you asked me if I would do it again right this minute, I'd probably say no. But I haven't had a chance to like evaluate like the performance of this thing yet, because like remember, the whole reason I did this was to get the best kind of cooling performance that I can get. And there's definitely a school of thought out there that's like, you don't need to invest in something like this to get good cooling performance, but I want to cool my GPU and my CPU. And I'll say this, that when I had it all plugged in and it was running, it's real quiet. It's like super quiet. Even when like Windows is in balanced power plan mode and it like has to like cycle up because I opened Chrome or something, like it doesn't like you can hear the fans spin up a little bit more because of the spike in CPU usage, but it's still pretty quiet. There's one particular pipe that isn't perfectly level in the case. Like all my bends are nice 90 degrees level bends, except for this one that runs the length of the case. And I don't know if that's because I didn't bend it enough or just because of the way the case is laid out, but it works and it isn't leaking. So I'm going to call it a victory. Whew. Okay, let me pause.
Okay, so I just said
ask away.
first of all, congratulations
Thank you.
that it's working. It sounds like at this point you just have software problems and not hardware problems, and those are easier to fix.
Yep.
So my one question to you is, how many trips to Micro Center did this take?
9.
9.
I have
Wow.
I have 9. I have 9 email receipts to prove it. And some of these were
Wow.
go and return things and pick up new stuff. And then, like, as I was finishing the build, I was just at the point where it was like, I could try to bend this pipe one more time, or I could spend $9 on a fitting. So yeah, I would just go to Micro Center and pick up a couple extra fittings just to get it across the finish line. So
wow.
yeah.
Well, I hope tomorrow you get your software issue resolved and you can really stress test this thing and really get to enjoy it.
I'm not going to bed until until I get Windows installed and working the way I need it to.
Got it. Well, I hope you get it done.
Well,
I hope it's spectacular.
Yeah, so by the time we get done here, I don't think I'll be up too late. Like, I will say that this is the fastest install of Windows that I've ever had. The new PCIe 4 storage that I invested in is chef's kiss. It's legit. It's very snappy. It's very quick. So it's quite good. It's quite good. I'm pretty pleased.
Well, I'm glad.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Hopefully we'll have one more follow-up, and this will complete the epic story that is your PC build. I hope next time you report nothing but success.
Yeah, and like I'm coming up on the 24-hour leak test, which is like the benchmark. And the fact that I've like shimmied this thing around and carried it from my workbench to because I definitely didn't want to like build this on carpet. I built it in my back cellar and I shimmied it around, and it has survived being jostled and moved around. I'm gonna say that it's pretty stable.
So the rule of thumb is if it doesn't leak in 24 hours, it's not going to leak.
That's kind of the hard and fast rule. Is you build it and you fill it, you let it run for 24 hours, and you basically leave paper towels in it to catch any drips.
Okay.
And I'm fortunate in that I have white paper towels, and this is clear orange fluid, so it would show up very
evident.
Yeah. Now, the one place that I think if it could leak, or if I would have a catastrophic pipe failure, it is not over any of my PC components. It's kind of like in the front of the case, in which case I'm just going to have a mess on the floor. But yeah, I'm feeling pretty good about it. It's functional. It's working. I just want to stress test it to see if it was truly all worth it. Thank you.
I feel confident.
Yeah. And like, oh man, like it's just, I don't even know. Like, I would say that if you're seriously considering doing this, just be prepared to go over budget. So real time follow up. So obviously I don't need one of the radiators that I bought, and I don't need this front panel reservoir anymore, right?
Right.
So all in all, this is about $280 worth of merchandise I don't need. So what would you do, Paul, if you had ordered something and you turned out you didn't need it?
Well, you would try to return it.
You would try to return it. Now, you've ordered computer parts and things online before. What are the three magic letters when you do something like this?
Shoot. I don't know. You tell me. I'm blank.
RMA.
Okay. Yeah. Return merchandise authorization.
Yes. Return merchandise
RMA.
authorization.
Okay. So you have to ask for permission to return your stuff.
Yes. Hey, company, I bought this stuff. I don't need it. I'm going to send it back to you, and I need you to give me my money back. And that's usually how it goes. If you've ever done business with Newegg, typically you may have done an RMA before. And the process is you send it in, they send you a form, you fill out the form, you package your stuff up, and you ship it back, usually at your expense. Some companies will pay for your postage to return something if it's unopened sometimes, but usually it's on your dime to send it back. So Paul, turns out this company that I bought these parts from is based in Slovenia.
Oh, okay.
And I requested an RMA. They granted it. They sent me the form to fill out. I filled it out, and they gave me an address to send it to. I walked over to UPS yesterday, and I said, I need to send these two things back to Slovenia. And the lady looked at me and said, you're probably going to want to go to the post office or DHL. And I said, but I'm here. She said, okay. And then she said, that'll be $468, please.
Oh, geez.
So I guess UPS doesn't go to Slovenia. So I need to find now. To be fair, these things came DHL. So I'm assuming I can get a better deal on DHL, but it's probably going to cost not an insignificant amount of money to send these back. But if I could recoup $100 of it, I think I'd be okay. But like if it's going to cost me more than $120 to send back, I'm just going to like probably not send it back.
Put them up on eBay, see if anyone wants them.
Yeah, that would be the next thing to do. And I could probably, because like they're completely unused. It's just, yeah. So that's not a bad idea. That's probably what I'll end up doing, and then shipping them to someone domestically. Yeah, because the radiator itself is $80, and then that front panel was $170. So, or, I could just hold on to it and build another computer. Like I could always do that,
That's true.
So I don't know what I'm going to do. This has just been such an adventure. It has been such an adventure. Yeah, so I'm excited to get this thing up and running. Like I said, when we get done here tonight, I'm going to go back down and spend some more time with it. So, yeah, what have you been up to this week?
I'm done with work for a couple of weeks, so that is nice. Today is a little bit of a celebration in the Baylor household. I think we'll talk about this in detail probably next show, but yes. Today is the 10-year anniversary of my son's liver transplant. That's a pretty big deal around the Baylor household, so we pretty much did whatever he wanted, which basically involved him playing video games with a friend, mom making him French toast, and then we capped off the night with a trip to see the Columbus Blue Jackets.
That is a fantastic day.
Yeah, it was pretty good.
Yeah, so I was traveling this week. I was out in Seattle for a week, and man, did I really, really hurt myself when I was out there.
Okay, so what happened, buddy? What happened?
So I don't know if you know this, but it rains in Seattle an awful lot.
I've heard that, yeah.
Yeah. So I was there for 3 days, and I was staying at a hotel that was about a half a mile from the location that I needed to visit. And, Seattle's basically built into the side of a hill. And my thing about anytime I go to Seattle for anything, I like to get coffee in different places every day. So my last day there, it had rained overnight. So I went to this coffee shop that was a little out of the way, got coffee, and then was walking down the hill to then walk to this place I needed to get to. And I was kind of walking, and usually I have the presence of mind to look where I'm stepping. And usually, there's bricks or things that are serrated to prevent you from falling. But I stepped on one of those metal grates.
I am familiar with those metal grates, yes.
Yeah, I stepped on a metal grate, and before I could even realize what was happening, I was ass over tea kettle, and I fell on my side, on my knee, on my wrist, spilled coffee all over myself. Had to basically run back and get changed. I always carry an extra change of clothes just in case.
Smart, yes.
Yeah, so I went and put on my clean pair of pants and a different shirt, and my knee's still kind of banged up. My wrist is still kind of banged up. Yeah, so that was not great. But otherwise, the trip to Seattle was pretty good.
Yeah, well, I'm glad the rest of the trip was good. Honestly, the last time I was in Columbia, I didn't check my bag. I just had my carry-on, and I decided I was kind of running low on space. I have big clothes. I have big shoes. I was like, well, I can either pack another pair of shoes or I can take another pair of pants. And I decided just to rock with the pair of pants. So I only had one pair of shoes, and they were dress shoes. And dress shoes are not known for their traction.
Nope.
And it was raining that night, and I had a couple of adult beverages in me. And I, too, walked on one of those wet storm grates. and I just about bit it. I was really lucky that I didn't fall.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I know those things are like ice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And like I said, normally I kind of have the presence of mind. I guess I was just kind of lost in thought because I was like getting ready to fly home that night and just, yeah. And then like to kind of cap it all off, like the flight leaving Seattle was exceptionally turbulent. Like the captain was like, yeah, we're not going to have beverage service for a while. Just everybody strap in for an hour.
Yeah, when the pilot before you take off says this is going to be rough, you're like, oh boy, here we go.
I'm so high usually by the time we're ready to take off that I just kind of look around and smile. So I didn't really care that much. But you know what? Once we got through that, it was actually a pretty smooth flight. I didn't sleep on the way back, but I got home super late. Thursday night, Friday morning. So, yeah, but otherwise, pretty good trip.
Good.
Yeah. All right. Well, I think we've rambled long enough.
We have.
So if you're a regular listener to this show, you know that I put a challenge to Paul that we were going to do a gift exchange, a Doing Best Pod gift exchange this year where there were absolutely no rules. So, Paul, you shipped something to me that arrived when I was away.
Yes, it did.
And I need to tell you that there's a difference between the package that you received and the package that I received.
Yes.
I received the package from a popular online reseller.
Yes.
You have received a gift wrap present. And the reason for that is that I had ordered something for you the week before I left. And it was something that was going to take time to be provisioned and sent to you. And I paid for it and I got a receipt and they said they would email me when the tracking number was like ready to go. And then like the Thursday I flew back, like I hadn't heard anything. So like I was like on Wednesday, it dawned on me that I never got a tracking number and we were going to be recording on Friday. So like I was about to send them an email, but I got sidetracked. And then when I landed on Thursday, I got home and noticed that I had gotten an email from this company that they not only didn't – so the thing that I ordered they didn't have, and they were about to send a completely different thing that I didn't want. So I'm not going to name this company because I think they're usually a pretty good company, but I was very, very frustrated with them. But thanks to some exceptionally quick thinking on my better half's part, we were able to find a suitable substitute.
Okay.
And I hope that you'll be happy with it. So
okay.
You followed through perfectly. I did not. So we had to scramble at the last minute.
Okay. All right.
I had to go get this thing. We had to wrap it, and then we had to get it to you tonight. So in the course of you being at the Blue Jackets game, I actually drove to your house and put this on your porch.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. So, I had been in contact with Drew, making sure that, like, you know, it's Christmas, we get lots of packages, and we got someone else's packages, and it was a whole big thing. And I didn't make sure in the whole confusion I didn't miss it. So like, hey, you know, I didn't get a package. He's like, well, you know, it's going to be coming on Saturday, so why don't we just record then? So I got home from the Jackets game. I expected what you got, a plain brown box from a popular online retailer. I did not get that. This is lovingly hand wrapped, and I took some pictures of this just because I'm about to open it here. It is wrapped in Peanuts wrapping paper. Yeah. So that is a beautiful touch.
Is it, Paul?
It really is. It as soon as I saw it, I got a big smile on my face. And even then, even my daughter, who doesn't listen to the podcast, he said, it even wrapped it in peanuts. He goes, is that because you don't like it? I'm like, you get me, girl. Yes, she wrapped it in peanuts because,
all right.
As I said before, it's a garbage cartoon.
All right. Well, you're going to stand by that assumption.
I am. So I'm sitting here. I've got my scissors.
Okay.
Hold on.
Let's do it.
All right. So should we go first?
Yeah, you go first.
Okay, all right. I'm cutting the ribbon. I'm gonna try to get this close to the mic so you can hear it here. All right.
Okay.
I'm cutting the ribbon off. All right. I'm opening it. Okay. Look at that.
So tell me what you see.
All right. So it is a denim jacket. and it is a sewing kit.
Yes.
So this is a battle jacket to be very soon.
This is your battle jacket starter kit. So
yes.
All right, so I have to give all the credit for the thought behind this gift to my better half Mandy.
Okay.
Because I was originally going to get you something completely different.
Okay.
And then she suggested this to me, and I was like, oh my god, I have to do it. So even there's obviously a gift receipt with it if you want to get. So they were out of the distressed kind of denim one.
Okay.
But I could totally see you cutting the sleeves off of this and rocking this.
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. So, and when you introduced me to the world of battle jackets, you were concerned about what Jennifer might say if you bought one, but now you could just blame me.
I'm as pleased as punch. Yes.
You deserve. I want you to be you, Paul.
Oh, I'm gonna be me. Don't you worry.
Do you have any patches that you could sew on there?
I do not. I do not. But I'm probably going to spend tonight making a list of patches I want, and then probably make some orders. So no, this is basically opening up the floodgates. I'm so excited.
Good.
I'm so excited.
And like I said,
thank you very much.
Oh, you're very welcome. If that's not the correct size or you want a different style, like I said, feel free.
No, I'm an extra large kind of guy. This will be perfect.
I wasn't sure if you were a large and extra large guy, so I hedged.
Well, yeah, just I'm a big dude and I'm kind of chubby.
You're very tall. You're very tall, right?
And I have broad shoulders too. But yes,
yeah, there you go.
Oh, I'm very excited. Woo!
Good.
Oh, thank you very much. I can't wait.
You're very welcome.
All
right. So
let
wait.
me.
Okay. So oh crap, keys are being hit. All right. So I've got a big Amazon box here. I need to stay near the mic. So it is addressed to me.
Mm-hmm.
Care of Doing Their Best.
Yes.
So I'm now going to open this Amazon box. It feels a little heavy, but it feels like it's a fairly big box. But whatever it is doesn't take up the entire box, from what I can tell. So let me see what we got here. Okay, that's not going to work, Drew. We need something.
A pair of scissors.
All right, okay, this is okay. Yep, almost. There we go. Ooh. Okay, we're opening. Okay. So it's dark. Okay. All right. So I've opened the box, and there is air packaging, and there also appears to be an Amazon gift that is in some sort of bag.
Yeah. It's classy.
It is a little classy.
Yeah, get closer to the mic.
All right. Sorry. It's in Google packaging. I'm now undoing the bow. A gift for you. Oh, there's a tag.
Okay. There's a tag.
Merry Christmas. I sure hope I won. -- Paul. Okay.
Yeah. I don't think I did, but it's okay.
Okay. Well, let's see what we got here.
Let's do it.
Okay. I have to figure out how this opens because this doesn't. Oop. Okay. Oh, there's a big box in here. Okay. All right, we're gonna. Okay. How does this even get out of this bag for real though? Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Oh no. Okay. All right. You win.
I don't think so. But tell everyone what you got.
Okay, so I now am the proud owner of an Orbi home Wi-Fi system.
Yes.
So, wow, this is super generous. because I know what this costs.
No, it's my pleasure. Your Wi-Fi. You said you had a dead zone. I can't stop thinking about it.
Wow, this is holy crap, dude.
Yeah, okay,
I don't even know what to say.
No.
This. Oh man, I should have spent more money on you.
No. You. You know what? Like you said 2 podcasts ago, you did not just buy me a gift. You bought me a lifestyle. So.
Dude,
Yeah.
you know, I gotta be honest. I strongly like when I picked the box up and kind of like I saw what I was like about to open. The thought dawned on me, but I'm like, there's no way he would spend that much money on this particular.
That's okay. It's my pleasure. Like I said, literally the thought of I thought about many, many, many different things. I had lots of anxiety about this because I wanted to win. And ultimately, just the thought of you telling the story about you having a Wi-Fi dead zone and our conversation about it, it's like, no, like you need to upgrade the Wi-Fi in your home. You just spent obviously over the budget on your PC, so you're obviously not looking to go back to Micro Center and buying something else. So, boom, there you go, the gift of better Wi-Fi.
Oh man, dude, that is super generous. All right, so let's take thought of the situation.
Okay.
So bars have been set. So my birthday is coming up. I consider you covered in terms of expenditure.
Okay, all right.
Dude, like, seriously though, wow. I definitely should have done more.
No, this is the best thing. I mean, this is the best thing I'm gonna get on Christmas.
So,
don't tell my kids that.
This isn't what you have though.
No, it's not what I have. Only because basically what I did is I did lots of research and I almost kind of pretended what I would get for myself again if I had to do it all over again. And I looked at there's even some new models out there that do like Wi-Fi 6 and some other brands, and I watched YouTube videos and stuff, and apparently those have some major problems still right now, and the feature set doesn't quite match up. I basically treated it like what would I buy myself if I did it again? Because I had that issue with the Eros, and they're great except for the fact that you need a working internet connection to get to the management interface, and that made me mad, especially that time that I made a big mistake. So I did the research like what I would do if I was going to buy it for myself, and I kept coming back to the Netgear Orbi, and I know someone who recently purchased a set of these, and he really, really likes them. So I'm like, you know what? That's what I'm going to do.
Wow.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Drew.
So, Paul, thank you so much. And I hate to be that guy, but I just looked up what this particular set cost, and you have outspent me.
That's okay. No, it's not about the money, Drew.
I know.
It's
Paul.
not about the money, Drew.
Paul,
it's not
okay, all right.
about the money.
All right. Listen to me very carefully. You have brought shame on my house. You have brought shame. You have brought shame into my house.
It's not at all. And see, it's not about the money. It's about me not worrying about your Wi-Fi anymore. And and it ties back into the show. So it's like your gift also ties back into the show. It's wonderful. I love it. I'm even thinking about ways to distress it. I'm sure I could take a belt sander to this thing. I almost cussed. Woo, I almost did a naughty there. Woo! To distress this thing up a little bit. Cut the sleeves off.
I really wanted to get you the acid wash one. And like I said, I was originally like shooting for a slightly different style from a different company who just basically all they make is denim goods.
Okay.
So this is like the silver medal, and I'm glad that I was able to at least find one local-ish to Columbus that I could go get this, because I thought I was going to be out of luck. Because a lot of other places, so like when the other one fell through, it became like a frantic like Google search to try to find a denim jacket, an XL that I would consider to be like battle jacket ready. Like I did my research, by the way. I went to some weird places. Because like when you're if you like Google battle jackets, you get like denim and you also get leather. And
yes,
like if you draw the denim and you draw like the leather Venn diagram and you kind of get in that circle, because I almost got you a leather one, like you could get your leathers. But I didn't know if you would actually wear leather. I feel like you would wear the denim.
Oh yeah, the denim's gonna get worn. Absolutely.
Okay. Now, are you gonna like cut the sleeves off?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, I didn't know if you were gonna keep the sleeves or
no. The sleeves are gonna have to go. Yes, absolutely. Okay. But that's part of the charm is they tell you that the best battle jacket is a denim jacket that you cut the sleeves off of.
Okay.
So now that's yes.
Now I wasn't so sure about the I don't know what you call that material on the inside of the jacket.
Yeah, it is lined.
Yeah, I didn't know if that was a help or a hindrance.
I don't know.
I feel like that's definitely going to make the sleeves look cooler.
Oh yes, absolutely. When they get cut.
Yeah. So all right. So just give me a quick rundown then. So what are you thinking? What are you thinking patch wise? I mean, obviously you're a big Ghost fan.
Yeah. You know, I've that's a good question. And
to be clear, I was also looking at getting you some patches, but I feel like if you don't get them at the show, they're probably not earned.
So there's two trains that there are three trains of thought on this. One of them is saying if you don't buy the patch at the show, it doesn't count. I'm not a big proponent of that because a lot of time I've been kind of paying attention the last few shows I've gotten. I went to, and some bands just don't have patches at the show. So man, I'm not big on that. The second train of thought is buy patches for bands that you've seen live, and the third is just do what you want, do whatever makes you happy. I think I'm firmly in. I will not put a patch on the jacket for a band I have not seen live.
Okay, that's fair.
So, yeah, I'm gonna get a Ghost patch. I like to get Behemoth, Lamb of God, Skeleton Witch. I'm seeing Mayhem in April. I like to get a Mayhem patch, but I can't get that until April. Yeah, I'm still holding it in my hands. By the way, I have not let this thing go.
Has anybody else seen it yet?
No one has seen it.
Okay, all right. I know Jennifer doesn't listen to the podcast, but she needs to be okay with this. And if she's not, you tell her to talk.
It's okay. It's okay if she's not. This is yeah. This is the lifestyle now. Now the question is will I have it ready to go for my next big show is Mayhem in April. It's actually Mayhem, Abath, and Gatecreeper, which I'm super excited to see. So maybe I'll get 3 patches or 2 at that show as well. Maybe I'll get a Gwar patch. That'd be nice. Gwar was the band. Gwar was the band that did not sell a patch at the show.
Really?
Really. So I bought socks instead. Okay.
Yeah. That's a pretty good dad. That's a pretty good dad buy.
Yeah. Socks. I've become a crazy sock guy. So.
There's worse things to have.
Exactly. No. Yeah. So I'm gonna make a list of patches, and obviously I will keep all of the besties up to date with the progress of my battle jacket, and I'll put pictures on Twitter.
Yeah. You should definitely do that. You should definitely do that. And I am going to figure out how to best lay out my home with my new luxurious mesh network.
Yeah, I hope it works well for you.
Yeah, I actually did hit, and I don't know if this is with my Plex server or I am having an interesting issue with my Wi-Fi at home right now because I don't know. It must be the way I have encoded these particular programs. It's just that either my network or my transcoder can't keep up with it, and it constantly pauses and restarts and pauses and restarts. So I don't know if that's a home networking issue or not. It's currently on a 5G network or the 5 gigahertz network. I don't know if this is any faster or slower than that, but
they've got pretty good throughput on speeds, and obviously it uses two different networks, one for communication with each other and one for communication with the devices. And if those, you're supposed to get pretty good speeds.
Yeah, that'll be the first thing I try, because if it's still slow even with this new networking gear, then I probably need to either re-encode or do something to my Plex server to make it more beefy. But like, I've got that Plex server sitting on my VMware ESX server, and like it's got 8 cores and a ton of memory, so I don't know why it can't keep up, but who knows? Yeah,
I'm not sure how well I'm guessing it's probably what, H.264.
Might be. I think it's H.264. I don't think it's I don't think I encoded it at H.265.
So I wonder how well the hardware encoder, because usually, like most chips have hardware-based encoding. I'm not sure how well that translates to VMware, but you think they'd be able to figure that out.
Well, I would hope so.
Yeah.
I'll have to try.
Yeah. So you might want to see if you get different performance on bare metal versus not, but that's a lot of work too.
Yeah, I could probably try that like on my new computer when I finally get that fixed. Maybe I could like spin up a little Plex server on there. That's the other thing I'm really excited about too, is now that I have I'm like core rich, is like doing more multi-threaded stuff on my home PC. Not that I couldn't do that before, but I'm excited for that.
Now you have all the cores.
I don't have all the cores. I didn't like I almost talked myself into a new Threadripper. Like I said, I really wanted that 3950X, but they're just so hard to get. I think I would probably be waiting till January if I did that.
Well, I bet even if you went and found it, you probably could sell the chip you had for, not too much loss overall.
Yeah, I have a very interested party in my old gear as well, so I will probably be selling my i9 and stuff. So, so this is the week before Christmas.
It is.
Are you all shopped out, or?
I think everything is ready to go. The only thing that really, the only task that is really left to do is, at some point we have to get both my son and my daughter independently to the store so they can buy something for the other. It's kind of a little tradition we do. We always put it off to the last possible minute, because that's just how me and my wife rolls. And Monday or Tuesday, I'm going to have to get them out of the house so Jennifer can wrap presents. So usually we go to a movie. So I think this year will be the new Star Wars movie.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, that sounds like a plan.
Yeah. How about you? Are you all ready to go?
I think so. I just have to. So. I think I might have mentioned this one or two podcasts ago, but my brother, I'm not going to get to see my brother this Christmas. And I was kind of banking on doing that. And then when we kind of got together for Thanksgiving and he said he was going to be able to come home, I basically have to scramble and get a card in the mail. I might have to like overnight it like with UPS or something to get it to him before Christmas. And then my mom and my dad, I think, are going to come out and visit us at some point next week, because I'm off next week too. Are going to come out and visit, kind of like for my birthday / Christmas type thing where we go to lunch. So I can give them their gifts then. I got stuff for you, obviously, and I had a couple other people that I sent like some Steam games to. And yeah, the only other person left is Rocky and Mandy, and we got Rocky pretty much locked in. And I think I've got almost everything for Mandy. I might get her one or two more little things, but we'll see. Yeah, this Christmas feels so weird just because I was on the road so much right before it. Like yeah. I feel like I'm not ready. I actually feel a little bit of stress this year regarding Christmas.
Well, that's not the point of Christmas. The point of Christmas is to have fun, be with friends, be with family, eat a lot, drink a little too much.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Speaking of that, so we should probably talk about the plans for recording the podcast for the rest of the year.
Yes, we should.
Because, as you know, next Friday, we have an activity planned.
We sure do.
Sure do. So my birthday is the 28th, which is Saturday, and my wife is planning another party for the 27th, I believe.
That's what I've heard.
Yeah. So I don't know. She's planning some kind of party. I don't really know like what it is, or or what it's going to be.
You don't.
No, I don't.
You don't,
and
you
it's
say.
it's very distressing. She said she has a theme.
Perhaps, yes.
Oh, so you know.
Do I?
Don't play coy with me.
I have been invited, and I do know the theme.
She is astonished that I don't know what it is because I'm drawing a complete blank.
Okay.
Because all the themes that I could think of what it could be, I just don't know how you would plan a party around that. I guess maybe that's the point.
Maybe that's the point.
Maybe that's the point. I'm really at a loss. So we should plan on either recording Thursday, which is the 26th, or we could actually record on my birthday on the 28th, which is a Saturday.
That is completely up to you. I don't think I have. I've got family coming over the 26th, but if they're still here at 9:00, the podcast will probably be over because I might just shoot myself.
Wow. Okay.
I mean, if any of my family's listening, I love you all. You're wonderful people. But please leave my house by 8:30 in the evening. Thank you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you want to?
We can play it by ear, but yeah.
Let's play it by ear.
Okay.
Let's see. Let's kind of see how. Excuse me. How the week shakes up.
Okay.
I'll put something on the calendar. But
spectacular.
Yeah, man. Hey, I was just thinking, how long have we been doing this podcast now?
Oh, geez. Hold on. I can answer that question by stalling and going to the website and seeing.
So okay. We've been doing it since the beginning of June. So we've been doing
June
this...
2nd was the first one we record. That's the first one that I put up on the website. I don't think we announced it until we had 3 or 4 episodes in the can. I think it was so. 3. Yeah. Yeah, but we've been doing this since June 2nd. That's the first time. Yeah, that's the first date of the first episode being posted to the website.
Man, time flies because we're gonna do one next week, and then it's gonna be 2020 already.
I know. Yeah. We've been doing it for half of a year.
So quick spoiler alert for the listeners. So why don't we do this? Why don't we just go ahead and announce what next week's topics are going to be? So we're gonna recap the birthday party. If depending on when we record. If we record after we have the party on Friday, we'll recap that.
Okay.
Otherwise, we should each pick a topic that is near and dear to us from the past year. If you want to talk about the Zach thing, we could do that.
Okay.
And then I'll try to think of something. Yeah, that's what we'll do. We'll make it a very special doing their best end of year kind of recap. Maybe we can look back at the year that was of the podcast, and we could figure out stuff we could talk about.
Okay. Sounds like a plan.
That seems like a plan.
Yeah, sure does.
Yeah. I'm probably going to go reinstall Windows now.
Have fun with that.
Yeah, I can't get my computer to boot up without starting any other programs. And I used to know how to be able to do that. Now I don't know how to do that anymore.
I know nothing about Windows besides, well, that's not true, but I don't know about that side of Windows anymore. Yeah.
All right.
Well, good luck on your computer, Drew.
Yeah. So where can people find us online?
Oh, yeah. This part of the podcast, the end. We are on the internet at doingtheirbest.com. You can find us on Twitter, where you will soon be able to see pictures of my vest, my vest to be Doing Best Pod on Twitter, and me at Paul Baylor. That's BAHLER. And where can we find you, Drew?
I'm on Twitter at PITTFURG. If you're on Twitter for dogs, I met a lot of really good boys and girls this week in my travels, so you can definitely check that out.
You sure did.
I sure did. That's okay. Well, before we end, I definitely have to call this out because I got scolded, is the right word?
Okay.
For taking pictures of people and their dogs in public. And I'm going to get in trouble for this one. Hang on a second. Let me think about how I want to say this. I think that this person is really overreacting. I can, you know, I have every time I've been in a public place where someone has their dog with them, I always stop and say, "Excuse me, can I take a picture of your dog?" And I think I have asked that question probably 100 times, and I've been told no 3 times. Either because the dog was really skittish, or the person wasn't really big about getting pictures of themselves and their dogs taken because they were holding them or whatever. But most people are like, yeah, sure, because dog people are awesome.
It turns out,
you know, you can do that. But like this person, it was very Gary privacy concern clown thing where it was like, well, these people probably don't know that you're sharing their pictures online. And if it were me, I would tell you no. And I'm like, well, it wasn't you. And I really like dogs. So I don't really see the harm in what I'm doing. But, you know, we like to live in a world where, you know, we can give someone a finger wag and feel better about ourselves for it. But that's a really long way of saying that, you know, I'm still going to take pictures of dogs.
Yeah. I personally like to think that somewhere in some stranger's house, there is a beloved family photo, and I'm photobombing the heck out of it in the background. And
I think those are just good goals. Those are good goals to ascribe to.
No. Well,
all right.
You have a good rest of your evening, Drew, and thank you very much for your wonderful gift. Yes,
you are very welcome, and thank you for your extra generous gift. I'm just going to go ahead and chalk this up to this is a birthday and Christmas present, because that's usually how this works for someone with a December 28th birthday.
I think that is perfectly fine. Yes,
I think that's how I'm going to rationalize this, and
yes.
Just know that the gauntlet has been thrown.
No, that's okay.
I know that's what you're going to tell me not to think of, but oh boy, you're going to get it. But I hope you and Jennifer and the kids all have a great Christmas, and to all of our besties.
Yes. Merry Christmas, all of our besties.
Yes. Merry Christmas to all the besties. Thanks for listening, and definitely share your feedback on the gifts. We'll post pictures and everything online soon. So everybody have a very Merry Christmas, and we'll talk to you next week.